Do you think it matters if your church supports other locally owned businesses or if they purchase everything online? Have you ever actually considered the benefits of shopping local, or has your sole focus been on trying to get the quote unquote best price available? That's what we're going to talk about today. Let's go.
Welcome to Navigating Church Finances with Michelle Brown, the podcast that helps take the guesswork out of church finances one episode at a time. Whether you're a seasoned treasurer or just got handed the church checkbook, you are in the right place. My goal is to make church finances fun, simple, and eliminate some stress for you. So let's get ready to learn something cool today.
Welcome back to the podcast. I hope you noticed that I switched up things a bit with the name and the intro, but be assured I will still be talking about all things church finances, payroll, minister taxes, and financial policies and procedures. Today, we're going to be chatting about stewardship in the church and one aspect that is often missed in the local church, and that is the benefit of the church supporting locally owned Christian businesses. I'm going to begin with just a simple definition of biblical stewardship, and that is the practice of using God's resources responsibly and in a way that honors God. It's based on the idea that God owns all things, which He does, and we are caretakers of those resources. It also involves managing the resources God has given us by using those resources to achieve God's goals for the church. I'm going to start off with searching for and buying the cheapest item is not always the wisest decision. Just because you can buy something cheaper online doesn't mean that you should necessarily purchase that item online. Sometimes supporting local businesses, especially locally Christian-owned businesses, may be the wiser decision. Example, Amazon. Amazon is everywhere. Just about anybody you talk to that has a computer orders from Amazon. But ordering from Amazon isn't always the answer. And you know why? Because, you may be able to save a few bucks by ordering your church supplies or a book or office supplies on Amazon. But you are supporting a company that also sells the Satanic Bible, that also sells books that teach things that ought not to be taught, that sells videos that show things that ought not to be shown, okay? So you have to think about, not only is my money purchasing a particular product, but what is my money supporting overall, okay? So there are three key benefits, I think, of shopping from local Christian-owned businesses for a church. And I'm going to go through these, okay? Number one, when a church shops from locally owned Christian businesses, it supports kingdom-minded stewardship. By purchasing from these businesses, the church ensures its financial resources support entrepreneurs who share their biblical values, who operate with integrity, and who prioritize ethical business practices. As the saying goes, what comes around goes around. You support a local Christian-owned business, and those business owners are going to tithe back a portion of their income to the church. It's really a beautiful cycle of financial responsibility. Again, yes, you may be able to find a cheaper price online or at a national chain somewhere, but is online or that national chain, are they going to support your church? Are they going to be in line with your biblical values? Are they going to be in line? Are their business practices integrity? Is that what they teach their employees? Is that how they operate their business? And again, are they tithing that income? Are they giving it back to support the local church? So keep that in mind. Number two benefit of shopping from local Christian-owned businesses is it strengthens the local Christian community. Investing in local Christian businesses fosters economic growth within the faith community, and it creates job opportunities in a positive environment which can be so incredibly valuable. Think about how many jobs that you've had that the environment was just toxic. It was just absolutely horrible. I think of before I got into the Christian bookstore business, which was back in originally in 2003. The job that I had before that, you would think would be my dream job up until that time because it was working for an office supply store. Well, I love office supplies. I love paper. I love big fat pens. I love post-it notes. I love whiteout. I love everything to do with office supplies, okay? But I tell you people, that was one of the most miserable jobs I have ever had. And it made no sense whatsoever. I made more money at that job than I had made anywhere else. I worked with office supplies all day. I loved it. But yet it was the environment. It was definitely not Christ-centered. It was stressful. I don't know, it was just totally different. And then when I got my first job in the bookstore, I took a 25% pay cut to leave the office supply store to go to the bookstore. And I never, ever regretted it. Never missed it. Because reducing our family home budget, cutting out some cost that we had was so worth being able to work in a wonderful God-centered environment. I loved going to work every day. I loved, to me personally, and I have worked on staff at a church, and of course I have worked for a Christian bookstore and own a Christian bookstore. The Christian bookstore is the best place in the whole world to work because no matter whether you are going through life celebrations, life challenges, you're just having a bad day, you're going through situations that you don't know how to respond, girl, all you got to do is walk over to the bookshelf, grab you a Bible, get a study Bible, get a devotion, get a book off the shelf that deals with what you've got, and you have an endless resource right there available. Okay, so having that positive environment helps to generate better work conditions in the community and for your church members. Okay, for your church members as well. And then number 3 benefit of shopping locally Christian-owned bookstore or businesses is that they align with your business with ministry values. Many Christian-owned businesses understand the unique needs of churches, and they offer faith-friendly products, services, and partnerships that align with a church's mission and values, such as your local Christian bookstore. Okay, all of the above. Or the Christian radio station, or even a women's clothing boutique. I'm so excited. We have at the store, we've got a new neighbor that they're actually opening up in just a couple of days, and it's a women's boutique. Well, you would think, what is the big deal with a women's boutique? The big deal is that it is owned by a local pastor and his wife. And they carry items in their store that have scripture on them. They play Christian music in their store. They host events that support local Christian missions. And how wonderful it is. And you can just tell as they're getting the store together that the girls that they have working there, they love their job. They love the environment. They've been with them for years. And that's what makes a difference. People, life is too short to work for someone where you are absolutely miserable. Okay? So the opportunities are there for the church to help keep local Christian-owned businesses open so that you have those opportunities to partner with them for missions. Okay. You have those opportunities to strengthen the faith community. You have the opportunity to align your spending with your ministry values. It's not always about getting the cheapest. Okay. And like for my bookstore, if I'm able, I will discount to our churches and to others so that they can get the products that they need. All right. But we also have to take into consideration I have overhead and expenses. So you don't want to ask a discount from a small business owner every time you walk in the door. Because if you think about it, do you go into Walmart or do you go into Target and say, hey, if I buy 5 of these, will you give me a discount? No, you do not. So why should you do it to your locally small business owner who's there trying to make a positive difference in the community, who's there trying to provide a positive work environment for those in the community, and who is there trying to make a profit so that they can tie that money to give back to their local church? It's just a win-win for everybody, okay? All right, and that's going to be a wrap for today. As always, thank you for spending your time with me. Let's all strive to make an impact and not just an income. And remember to always look your best, do your best, and be your best. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.